For it.
finish. Let's finish the comment stuff,
Yeah.
and then we'll talk about next steps.
Okay. Um, so the comments are working, right? We haven't run the test. Let's just run the test and see if we're agreeing there.
Do we even care about send? We don't want to send it to Ader. We don't want Ader to, trigger a call for no reason if it's green,
Yeah, I think.
or even if it's red for that matter.
Yeah, let's see what if anything's broken. Um,
Do you have any integration tests? Okay.
so I'm guessing. So I've seen this a lot. I think this is fixtures. Um, so did Ader create fixtures?
It created a fixture, or at least no, the Rails command created fixtures.
Right. Okay. So let's just see quickly. Uh,
And see, it's the venue one and venue two. Is there a venue one and a venue two?
uh,
It's a user one and a user two. That
yes, I see. Yes, you're right. That's the
that's the
problem.
issue, I think.
So let's. I don't really care about comments, fixture comments. So let's just see if it
Well,
gets the screen.
they
Oh,
created a test,
right. It did create a test. You're right. Okay.
so that should fail.
Okay. So now let's see. Do we have user fixtures? We do, and there is one. So that seems good.
Yeah,
So it's just really
right.
venue, venue YAML, and we're gonna say Soho House, Soho House. Just run. Okay. Update or delete on table. So, I mean, we could see if Ader could fix these. It's sort of interesting about, I don't know if we want to go down this path. At this point, if we just want to keep doing what we're doing, I'm okay. It is interesting in this particular context how we might want to reprompt Ader. Do we want to keep the same context?
It's almost a guarantee that this is fixture related, though,
Yeah.
because you're
And
blowing up all over the place, and I don't trust Ader to fix that.
yeah, I tend to agree. Should we just fix it real quick?
Yeah.
Um, so notification test. That's interesting. This is a jumpstart test, right?
So it's something to do with the user being created.
Yeah. And did we didn't.
Did it edit the user fixture?
Doesn't look like it. No, just comments. So why? And it's just on.
Update or delete on table users violate scoring
So this is
constraint.
probably a cascade problem. So
And
user has many comments. Dependent destroy perhaps.
yeah.
Has yep, there you go. Good job. And then let's just run that one.
Yeah, that probably saved us 10 cents and maybe 2 minutes.
Yeah, it probably does save us time.
Yeah.
No fixture one, comment test, venues, venues one.
That
So this is Soho House. Oops. Sorry, I screwed that up, didn't I? This was user one is good. Venues is Soho House.
Does it appear anywhere else?
No, I didn't see it. Let's run test models comment. Cool.
All right.
So commit this, yes?
Yeah.
Okay.
And what are we going to check out the feature again and then figure out what the next steps on the feature are?
That's what I'm saying. I don't know if we're gonna work with this same like the same Git like dirty files, then I don't have to commit. I can just stage. Where do you want to go?
Yeah, I guess just what's your next to-do list item on this? Do you have much more on the comment stuff that's related to the context of what we already created, or is the feature done?
Yeah, I mean, there are things that we can do, right? But with this
Oh, you can
session,
delete that.
since like yeah, I could like that's one thing, right? We could tell it to remove the dupe, see what that does. We can tell it to like one, I want to associate the comment with the venue as well. Right now, it's just on the happy hour, I believe. Let's
Uh,
comment controller.
it's on
Um,
the venue, not the happy hour.
it's it's not create. Yes, it's on the venue. So I wanted to associate with the happy hour. Also, we can see that. Like really, since we have time together and we're working within the context of like how do we improve just context transfer to Aider, let's pick like let's just kind of come up with ideas to kind of help us dial this in, right?
All right. Well, if you want a quick test, just go ahead and tell it to remove that extra
Okay.
call,
So
get that done, and then I think we commit this at that point.
okay. Um, Okay, so right, when I sent you these, I kind of unhid these files. The other thing I'm kind of thinking in the back of my head is like, can we put these commands, these like Aider commands, like in a separate repo, and then still like maybe put them in paths so we can call them from like our current directory or something like that.
Yeah, I think that's the next step is separate repo path.
Yeah. Okay. Because right now, well, let's see. These are not. Oops. Shit.
Just added to context.
Just killed that. So we could say load our dot aider find con. What? Well, we don't really need to do that now. We can do our dirty context. See what happens.
Yeah, you have your aider commands in there though.
Yeah, I do. Shit. Let's reset. Let's load. Well, I can. Should I just hide those again for now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hide those or move them out because we're already ready to like
Okay.
do that. Just like move them to a separate folder real quick
Okay.
and we can
So
create a separate Git
let's
repo when we
make dir aider commands.
Sure.
Haps move aider find to aider commands, move aider get watch to aider commands. Okay. And
You have to add those, yeah.
so okay. So yeah, let's just so now we'll run aider.
Do you have the get dirty running in the background still?
Oh, I do.
Okay. Oh, look at that. It was even logging it the whole time to remove the files.
It is
Let's see
right.
if
So
it works.
now, okay. So now we load Aider. Yeah, the autocomplete really is something to be desired. Get dirty. No.
It's weird because, oh, I wonder if it's because you moved it. No, that's a sub process.
Yeah.
Oh, no. It's here. I think go ahead and hit Control C and just
So,
restart it, but you're gonna have to do like dot dot. Like you're gonna have to find the command.
does this work from current? Let's see where it's looking though, right? Aider commands, Aider get watch. Okay. Did that?
I mean, it would have said added files, so I don't know. Also, I wonder if they're not dirty when they're staged.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because let's look at, let's open up a new window and cd aider commands and then look at get watcher. What are we running here? This is this guy. So if I go back here, and this is get ls files. Is that what I'm looking for? Dash dash modify dash dash others dash dash exclude standard. Nothing.
Yeah, so I have a feeling it's when you staged. They're not dirty anymore. Do man get dash ls dash files and the s on the end.
Oops, yeah. Okay. Show unstaged.
Ignored stage. Show stage contents is dash stage.
Yeah. Okay. So
it is separate. So just rerun that and add dash stage and see if it shows everything.
Stage like that.
Yeah.
Whoa. Because isn't that sort of like in opposition to the modified or what?
Maybe.
Shit.
Yeah, maybe we have to look at that man page again because that looked like it was right, but
yeah.
Show staged contents, mode bits, object name, and stage number in the output. Maybe not.
Unmerged. Information about unmerged. All right. Well, I mean, we can just throw this back at Claude.
Yeah.
Because I do think we want the ability to like have something staged and then like have Aider take a step and then be able to see the diff in case we want to back out.
Yeah, throw it back and say both staged and dirty.
Yeah. Okay. And then
basically anything that's not been committed.
And are we sure? Let's see, where are we? And this is going to be for current working directory, meaning it seemed like we called it from the right place. Like there is a is get repo.
Yeah.
And then try. So I'm kind of reading that this will fail.
Let's double check where get dirty file. Do you see where it's set at the top? See where it writes out to the get dirty file.
Get dirty file.
Open. Yeah, so that should just be where it's run from.
Where it's run from. Okay. So modify the script to include staged get staged dirty files. I don't know if they're still considered dirty.
Dirty is the term for unstaged.
Unstaged. Okay.
So you want to take dirty off. You say include staged files and dirty files.
Yeah.
And see what it says. Oh, you probably could have just re-sent it because it had the script in context still.
Yeah.
Rev parse. Interesting. Oh no, that's for checking if it's... Did it change how it was checking if it was inside a Git repo?
I don't know. Let's do this. Let's, instead of get init dot.
Commit everything.
Oh, I already did that. Yeah, at least stage this. Okay. So now come back here. Copy you. Did that do that? Hold on, let me just delete. Copy. And we'll come back. So here's the diff.
Yeah. All right, makes sense. Let's try it.
Okay. So now from haps, we're going to run aider commands, aider get watch,
Files.
12 files added. Okay, that's
Oh.
good.
Still
Oh,
saying
we
files
got two. We got two going on here.
Oh. Is it just hopping back and forth? But I really wonder if was that hopping back and forth because one was writing it and then the other was?
I don't know.
Here, hit Control C on that and just start it again and just see if it does it more than once. No, it's not right. Okay. Now.
And so if we cat aider get dirty, that looks correct. Fair?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, change one small file and don't stage it and make sure it adds that one file too.
So comments controller here.
Just go to like menus form or something and just like that hasn't been touched.
Oh, well, I see what you're saying. Here we go. Venue test.
Yeah, just change anything.
Yeah, let's put a space there. Okay. That is there.
Now.
Then did we get one new file added?
Yeah.
So, and that's, if we cat that, do we see the test?
Comment test? No. What's
venue test. There it is.
All right, now just revert that and see if it goes away. Just double check.
Undo. Get status. It's not there.
And 1000.
And it is gone.
All right, cool.
That's great. Okay. Sweet.
Works like a charm.
Yeah. All right. So now we can do load aider. What do we say? Dash aider dot get dirty.
The problem with their autocomplete is it jumps too far ahead. Do you know what I mean? Like instead of like you said .aider and it like fully completed something instead of stopping at the next possible branching point.
Yeah.
Which is weird. Just use the Linux conventions for it, you know?
Yeah. Okay, so let's just say there is a duplicate new comment form on the venue show page. Remove it. Yes?
Yeah. Yeah, I think Claude 3.7 is just so chatty.
Yeah.
And that's why it did the first change and then second change right on top.
Yeah, I was
that was expensive. That was 13 cents. Do /token. I mean, and it wants to say no, you don't want to add that file always. Do /tokens. What was so expensive?
Schema? Why is the schema's in there? Why is the schema in there?
Because it was changed.
Oh, right, because it's dirty. I forgot.
But that was only a cent. And so it's 4 cents in, and what? It was like almost 9 cents out for that little bit. 35,000 cent, though. It says 35,000 cent. But your tokens reads 14.
I don't know. And because we killed this, so...
Yeah, so maybe something weird was happening with that, but that 35,000 cent is weird.
Yeah, where are you reading that? Up here? Oh, yeah, 35,000
token.
cent. I don't know.
Right? That is weird.
That is weird. Unless it... hold on, what are we in? Can we scroll up here?
No.
Yeah, I mean, just unless there was back and forth that we're not seeing, right?
No, I don't think that happens.
No.
I mean, you can look at the LLM history. And it would have said, because it says 13 cents message, 13 cents session. So it was just that one message.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have to, like, I mean, if you really wanted to debug this, you can open up the LLM history and see what it said.
Should we just try it real quick?
Yeah, let's just check that. Because that is kind of crazy. It's like almost more than duplicating.
This is Aider LLM history. So let's
Right.
go to the bottom, and
There's the assistant and the response, and now we have 35,000 tokens here, and let's just make sure everything. So this is the system prompt, right?
yeah, this is
Or part of it, the extra stuff.
and here's just the file
Oh,
context.
wait, go down though. Why is there? Keep going until you see assistant. What is the assistant thing?
Yeah, what is
Because
this?
was that sent or is that just the demarcation for a cache control? Oh, that might just be the demarcation for a cache control. All right, so go up.
Yeah, so page
And
up. So these are
yeah,
just
but we need to check and make sure that it's not duplicate. Like I have a feeling it's duplicating files, like it's sending the same files over and over again. So we want to check that like venue show only shows up once.
okay. So we can.
But this is your whole history, so if
Yeah,
you
this is the whole history. So why don't we copy this? We'll delete everything before it. We get page through.
eh,
I don't know. Do we care this much? What do you think?
I don't know. It was weird and expensive.
So let me just get to. Okay, so we're back to here.
I add these files to chat. Trust and edit them.
Yeah, so this seems like the top of the non-aider prompt, right? This is because this is typically the top of the prompt. If you do like slash, I can't remember if it's slash copy or slash copy context, but the one that basically just copies the files that have been added. This is typically the top of that prompt.
Yeah.
So
maybe Aider just miscalculated, and that's not actually how much it spent.
yeah,
Because Aider tries to calculate it. It doesn't,
mm-hmm.
it's not getting that raw data from Anthropic.
Yeah, because now we're back. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's the end of that, and then.
Yeah, just leave it. I mean, like
done.
that's something that can be a little.
It
deeper.
is weird. I mean, I don't see. It doesn't appear that it sent it multiple times, and it looks like we've only gotten the instructions back once.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Okay, let's just move on. So we're good. Let's just see if it worked real quick. So now I open this up. I have a comment. Can still post a comment. Did its job.
Perfect. Using turbo streams and everything.
Yeah.
All right. So I think here is a natural place to commit because you have a new feature.
Yep.
It's fine. And the next thing we're going to want to do is probably a combination of things. And so this is a good point to start like figuring out if we can gather context well again, you know?
Great. So add comments to venue page. All right. Great.
All right. So in the meantime,
hold on, I missed the file. Git commit amend. Okay. Nah. Got a force push on main, of course.
nice.
Push dash.
It's the best practice ever.
Best practices only. All right.
Ruin every other developer that's working on it.
All of them.
All right, so next feature, like let's look at your to-do, figure out next feature, and then we'll talk about context. So
yes. So we can get into the weed. I'll rattle off some features. You tell me what you think will be best, the best use of our time. So a couple things like we can. Yeah. So I don't want to get into anything too domainy, I think, but we can. I think with the comments, like kind of how I have in the back of my head is, maybe comments have a certain type associated with them. Like this could be like just a generic comment, or maybe we have some like buttons that say like, hey, the happy hour is wrong, or
Okay.
like the time's wrong, or something like that. Like I kind of think that those could be types of comments that just go into the same commenting system, but they're actually like, from the user's perspective, they're initiated from like a couple buttons. That's something we could do. We can. Th- I don't want to get into anything that's too debuggy right now. There's some
Like
weird
what?
stuff going on there.
Uh,
Um,
what about the workflow of having an LLM try and convert that into edits on a model?
um, oh, that like
Like
so.
a comment, somebody says, "Hey, it's not. It's actually at 5:30."
Yeah, yeah. We can definitely try to get into it. Like so, the dumbest thing we could do here is, or like a simplest first step would just be that like every comment that comes in gets processed by an LLM, right? Um, and then turns it into a function call that it can basically call some sort of function on, or I guess not. When last time we talked about this, right? It would basically almost just construct kind of a JSON object that's like, here is sort of that represents the
Oh, I
command we
get
want to call,
it. Yeah.
right?
So, but I think your first step you're getting to it is just like, "Hey, for a given comment, we want to process it. Every comment that comes through, we want to process it through an LLM call."
Right. Yes. Yeah, we could do that. Um, like I think the first, like if we're going to do that, really what needs to happen is we probably need to associate comments with happy hours themselves. So let's look at a decent happy hour. Um, so let's look for Saturday at.
All right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, making comments polymorphic then, or is this, or do you want to make it polymorphic, or do you want to say, "Hey,
I think it
it
just
can,"
also belongs to a venue and a happy hour.
okay.
So we kind of want to, which is interesting because we just committed everything, right? So that context would have been helpful,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
we could start again and basically say add comments to this page also, and see how much it reuses.
yeah, yeah. And this is also why I wanted that, because right now we're trying to dial in, get the context. Don't
Yes,
rely on chat history, get the context,
right,
right?
right.
Uh, in that vein, open up those two links that I sent you.
Yes, okay.
Uh, and these are things that I'm really curious about possibly integrating into our workflow. Uh, and I don't think we'll do it right now on this one, but I think it's something that we need to keep in mind and possibly do.
Okay.
So probe, go to the first one, probe. And so in the upper right-hand corner, you can see the about. Probe is an AI-friendly, fully local semantic code search. You moved it, so I can't read that.
Oh,
It's there too. Fully local semantic code search tool designed to power the next generation of AI coding assistants by combining the speed of rip-grep with the code-aware parsing of tree sitter.
interesting. Okay.
Probe delivers precise results with code complete blocks perfect for large code bases in AI-driven development workflows. So currently, AI uses tree sitter to
Mm-hmm.
make their repo map, and it's kind of garbage with Ruby, but I think there is something to it. Uh,
And this is probe you're talking about.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
and it's something to the methodology, and this is
Totally.
what I was getting at, and what I've been thinking about with context management is basically like, given one file,
Mm-hmm.
what should I include? And probe should hopefully solve that by like dealing with, you know, rip grep or something
Mm-hmm.
through it, and then, using tree sitter. And then this one, go down to the usage section, like CLI mode, you see, and then maybe we'll look at how it works. But search for,
So let me ask you a
keyword.
question on this though. But does this tool connect to an LLM, or is this to gather context for an LLM?
It does not connect to an LLM,
Okay.
which is another nice thing. It's going to save it. And you can even see, speaking of saving things, there is a max tokens
That's interesting.
parameter.
Yeah.
And the whole point being, you could basically, when you're calling this, say max tokens like 1,000, and it'll give you like all the hits it hits up to that token limit.
Mm-hmm.
And you can do, it's interesting. Files only, skips AST parsing, ignore patterns, in addition to get ignore. So it uses get ignore out of the box.
Mm-hmm.
Re-ranker. That's interesting. That is not using an LLM, but it is using kind of LLM technology, or I should say machine learning technology, because like TF IDF and BM25 I've heard of are embedding tools,
Mm-hmm.
but it can do it locally. And you can see frequency based, exact matching, max results, max tokens, allow tests, include test files or not, any term, no merge, merge threshold. So super interesting. This one I think is not like, and you can connect it to AI if you see at the bottom, run probe as an interactive AI assistant.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think that's required because, that you have to configure AI keys for that one. But overall, just a CLI tool. The next one, same thing as a CLI tool, but code search engine for AI using semantic search. And you can see the demo here. It's super slow, I think. I want to change how we round the remaining time. And you see it spits that out. And this is not using, like it is using ripgrep, but it's more relying on embeddings. And again, I don't think that this is, and I'm pretty sure this says it is a local search tool. I am pretty sure this does not rely on AI, though you can connect it to AI also.
Mm-hmm.
So both of these are like the RAG equivalent of coding for your
Mm-hmm.
code base. And so it could automate a lot of this, like, hey, we want to give more context, but we don't want these files edited type thing.
Right. Right. Okay, that's interesting. Okay, so I guess to kind of level set a little bit, do we think there's like should we be trying one of these tools, like maybe probe, like instead of our like current find tooling, or I don't know, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I think it's both or one or the other. Like you could try it in place of the find tool.
Mm-hmm.
I just came across these and I was like, this is just like a step above what I was thinking about with find tool.
Yeah.
And seems like it's pretty configurable. It does say supported language is Ruby, but the one thing I'm like, ugh, I don't know if it actually does is ERP files.
Mm-hmm.
Which maybe you could explicitly have it do file only search or something like that. And I think both of them listed that. Go to the Seagoat, the next one.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they also have a like supported languages, like, yeah, almost the exact same list, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I think the application of this, right? And so like as we go through this, I want us to like start to map like the type of work that we're doing, and like, is like the context gathering different for different types of work. Like so far what I have in my head is like when we're like leaning on Rails generators, right? We generate some new code, generate some new models, maybe scaffold, whatever. like the get dirty thing is pretty great, right? It would be great if we didn't have to like call load on that file, but like not a big deal. That works pretty well. And then I think in the find, like I'm pretty happy with that. I kind of wish, yeah, I wish it was a little bit smarter somehow, but I'm not quite sure how I even want it to be smarter. But I think there's some leaning on Rails conventions that we can do there to say like somehow indicate the type of work we're doing, and like just using conventions, sort of like add that full stack of files that's needed from the view to to the model. But I do think that there's this other use case I have in my head of like, hey, I want to change the way this method works. I want you to find all the callers and then make all those changes. And I feel like that's where something like Seagoat or Probe is going to be better. But that's just how I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, I think so. I think maybe, and it's currently because we're just doing greenfield work on current models.
Mm-hmm.
But, and I know, you could imagine though very quickly, like if you worked on the LLM calling side of things
Mm-hmm.
and you change something, or you're getting ready to change something to support it in the comments, and you're like, well, I want to make sure it doesn't screw up for any of the other callers.
Right.
So it is kind of like right now, yeah, the get dirty and the like find file is super easy,
Mm-hmm.
but we're just almost only using like a single model.
Yeah, we're just barely scratching the surface. Yeah, because right now, like if I got into some of that like happy hour scraping stuff, there's so many classes. I don't even know how I would add all that context. Unless I started namespacing the stuff correctly, right? Like, and maybe I could do that, right? If I had like, you could imagine like a bunch of LLM calls that are sort of like wrapped up in a use case. I like namespace those, and then maybe find hits them, and I can add them something. I don't know.
Okay. My one caveat to that is I think that LLMs make the same mistakes that people frequently make,
Mm-hmm.
and people always mess up namespacing in Rails.
Yeah.
And it's like maybe it's a solved problem at this point, but it's like something that I feel like I've even run into in the last month or two is like something wasn't properly namespaced,
Right.
and or uh like associations or something doesn't quite work right when you have the namespace. Like you're like, I have to forego all the conventions and be explicit and be like, this is the class name, this is the foreign key name, this is that name, this is that name, and like add all of these extra parameters just to be in the right namespace.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Okay.
So I don't know. All right,
Not
so
sure.
let's start. I just wanted to open up with that as we're thinking about new context. I think we use the current tools anyway, the dirty and the find, to do the next work to see how they do anyway. Because last time we just had, Rails scaffold a comment,
Right.
and that was all dirty. Now we're about to do a new feature on stuff. How do we gather the right context?
Yeah.
Using the tools we have.
Yeah, let's do it. And I think adding the comment form to the happy hour is like fair, like it should be a fairly easy one, right?
Yeah.
So let's see if our tools hold up in a fairly easy scenario. So we are on the happy hour page, right? What we will want to do is so we have our watch there. We have nothing in context, which means aider get dirty should be empty. Great. So aider commands aider find, and this is going to be happy hour. It's gonna be the world. Let's see. So this is gonna be star
You need the folder first, right?
Uh, what folder? What do you mean?
Isn't it like folder and then name? So you would do
Oh,
find dot if you just want it to be the whole current directory or app, and then
yes. Yeah. So it's like app.
and then
Yeah.
your search query.
Happy hour.
And you need
star.
stars. Yeah.
Happy hour.
Oh.
Oh.
Oh wow. Even told you usage. Oh.
33.
33.
Okay, so we're immediately going to need a better way to do this.
Yeah, I think so.
Like,
It's almost like do you almost want to print everything out and then be like, do you want to filter this more?
yeah. Because, like,
Uh,
I mean, on the one hand, like I was saying, I kind of like if I think about this page from a Rails perspective, right? There's quite a bit. Like, if it was aware that I gave it like happy hour in Rails terms, I could say, okay, do you want, do you want these views under happy hour? Do you want the happy hour controller? Do you want the happy hour model? Instead of just looking at the path, right? Because I have just so much stuff prepended with happy hour at this point.
yeah. So
Should we just go through this though?
yeah, let's just go through it real quick.
Okay. So
Yeah.
no. And like I'm highly likely to just say no when I mean yes and yes when I mean no. But so specials no. Yes, right? Comments. No, 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 no. Venue happy hours controller. No. Happy hours controller. Yes. Yes. Happy hour menu controller. No. New. No. Happy hours index. No. Yes. No. Venue. Huh. Actually, I'm not sure which.
Say yes, because you could always drop it later.
Yeah. Sure. Okay. So, let's cat aider get dirty. Oh, sorry. It's not this one. It's find, right?
Oh yeah, find context.
Okay, there's that. And then so we
But
could
we also need comments. So this is the other thing that doesn't work well, because now if you run it again, it's going to blow that away.
Right.
So what you like the workflow is then you load this in.
Yeah. Okay, let's just do it. It's dirty, but let's just do it. So we're gonna reset.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm just gonna exit. I'm gonna restart. I'm gonna load dot aider find context. Have those come back, and we'll
It's
just
really annoying me that autocomplete sucks so much.
yeah, it is. Then we're gonna do comments. Yes. Maybe I don't know.
Yes, yeah, you do want that because you're gonna want to.
Oh, and I did comments, not comment. Yes, I want the comment model. Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So
and
now
then just jump back, and that's the nice thing. You just go back up and hit the same thing. So it isn't that terrible, actually.
Yeah, it's okay. I mean, like, I want to find the painful parts, like go through the motions and be like, how painful is it really?
I would say though, if we were compiling and running Aider from source, this would be like 20 lines of code that we put in there, and we could have it here as like a find context command.
Yeah.
Which would be pretty nice.
Yeah, I think that's I think that's pretty solid.
because then you're just skipping that intermediate step, and like you can even do the yes no all the way through,
Mm-hmm.
uh, and just have it here automatically.
Yeah.
But I think there is something too, like I'm really wondering what UX we're missing to be like, hey, it hit 33 files. Do you show all the 33 files?
Mm-hmm.
And then like you give and then you go through individually each one so that like somebody could just be like, control C, because I saw, oh, I'm grabbing everything from prompts and everything there. I just want to grab the model and I
Yeah.
want to grab, and then I want to look through all the views that are happy hour
Right.
related.
Right.
But I think there is something too, just being like you leaning on the Rails conventions and being like, for all the models I have, give me all the show views. Like add
Yeah.
all the show views.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm starting to see what you're talking about with these other tools that you sent. Because like maybe I don't get there from this on this particular story coming from show, but it's like I want to change this thing and it can if I squint I can kind of see the idea of like okay, well, I'm working on this model. I'm working on this feature, and then some sort of recursive, maybe semantic search on like, okay, well, what part of this model is dealing with this feature, and then let's do something tree sitter to like kind of find our context from there.
And what I think it's doing, because this is what literally I was talking to Claude or Jeepers about, was taking this rip grep.
Mm-hmm.
Like I like rip grep because you can just be like, give it to me, like find it.
Mm-hmm.
Problem is, you grab too high and too low, you can grab other things. And so I was like, oh, can we just combine rip grep and when you find the line, use tree sitter to just find the function. Be
Right.
like, basically, here's the line, let's expand high and low,
Mm-hmm.
or even just find the line, find what function it is, and then give me all of the function and the class name, and that's it,
Right. Right. Yeah.
and the file name. But and I think that's what these tools do. And like as I was talking to, trying to figure out this feature, I either came across this on Reddit or somewhere that it pointed to these features that are available. I might have even seen this in Ader's like issue history or something. Somebody being like, "Hey, why don't we use something like this?" And he's just so anti using extra tools, which I can
Right.
see it, but he needs to put a plugin system in.
Yeah. Totally. Yeah. Well, yeah, I'm okay. I mean, like we talked about, like I think we can definitely fork Ader, see what we can do with it. I mean, it would be nice to keep it somewhat up to date with
Keep it clean, yeah.
yeah,
And by like, and I was thinking about this as we're like adding commands, that one file, if we just stuck to that one file and created new files, even if we're duplicating code, it's better because it would be so easy to pull in new history.
right,
Because if we're at the very bottom of that command file, just like appending stuff, then we'll have like no merge conflicts.
right. Yeah, I like that.
And it's almost like and if we ever want to edit something in one of our commands for like the coder class is like the class that does almost all of the heavy lifting, we just create our own version of that class.
Yeah.
And we override functions or something there, and then we'll never have merge conflicts. We'll just have to like update,
I like it. Yeah. I like that a lot. I think we should definitely strongly consider that. Let's just see if we can make a change. So the other thing we're not doing, or the last piece of this, is if we look at our comment, belongs to venue. This doesn't belong to happy hour, right? So what we know we have a problem with is Ader can or Sonnet can generate migrations, but it gets the timestamp wrong, right?
Yeah.
So should we just like should our workflow at this point just be like, we're just going to create the migrations and then add them, get dirty?
Nope.
Okay.
Add the create migration.
Uh,
Add the comment create migration.
Hold on. What do you mean? I don't follow.
Because we'll rerun it. The literally like look for create comments in the migrations folder.
Create comments. Okay.
Right. So it's db migrate, like
create
it's
comments.
the latest one. Yeah,
This
that
guy.
one.
Uh-huh.
And send that to it because it's going to modify this one. So you want to add that file.
I see what you're saying. Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
And then you'll just rerun the migrations. This, I wouldn't advise this if it wasn't the last migration,
Yeah.
but since it's the last migration, it's super easy to say get migrate redo.
What just happened there? Sorry. Add. How am I gonna find this file? Let's look at.
Copy it. Do db migrate.
ls migrate.
2025 to 25.
250309. There we go.
Yeah.
So now I'm not in Tmux. I can do this. Okay. Add that one. Okay, cool. That's fine. But if this were like 3 migrations ago or something already run, then do we think at this point, like, again, coming back to just let's lean on Rails migrations as much as we can? Is that still the thinking? Like, just we'll create migrations. We won't ask Aider to, or maybe Aider can like fill in the blanks, but we can just like at least start the generator for it. Give it the file.
I think we start the generator for it. It might be something we consider putting in the system prompt. That's like, or in the prompt in general, somehow like injecting it where it's like it gives it a timestamp and it's like, if you want to create a new migration, use this in the file name.
Okay.
Because really it's fine as long as the integer is greater.
Yeah. Okay. And then we didn't add our routes. So, well, I don't know if we need routes. It's not changing any routes, right? Well, I guess it can be because it would probably add. I'm curious if it adds a new common controller underneath the happy hour, right? Or if it reuses the existing one.
No. Let's not add routes because it shouldn't want to do that. Remember, because the other controller is dealing with comments being on happy hour.
Okay.
And it's generic create. So this should work too, and they should edit that one.
Also, I'll take out routes.
Yeah, drop routes. And if we're ready, do a /tokens just to double check. Like tokens total 4,000. This should be nothing, right?
Okay. Yeah. I mean, whatever. It should be what, cent and a half plus output.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, which makes sense. I don't know what happened on the last one. So let's write it and say, do you want me? How about you craft the prompt and then I'll
go ahead. You got it. I'll type.
All right. But what do we did we add the other show that exists?
So we added, let's see, we have the happy hour show. We don't have the venue show. So we could add venue show.
Yeah, do a read for that one.
Read only. App. Uh-huh. Listen.
Or is that one going to want to change too?
I don't know. Should we just add it and see what happens?
Yeah, I think we just add it because if we're adding a relationship, it might need to.
Okay. So I'll add venue show, right?
Yep.
And do we know that we're on the right page? So this is the... I'm just curious. This is the happy hour show page. Just give me a second. Routes, grep, happy hours. So this is going to happy hours show. So if I come back, because we have, because I added two shows because I wasn't sure which was which. We have
Yeah.
the happy hours show, and then we have the venue happy hours show, which I I don't know what, I don't even know if that's used.
Yeah.
Um,
But
should we remove it just to not confuse it?
yeah, do we have the venue show?
We did add that. Yes, let's see.
Okay, good, good. Yeah, so maybe remove the venue happy hour show just to make sure not to confuse it.
Okay.
Even though Sonnet's probably happy to just edit it away.
Yes.
All right. So we want to, okay, add, you can, let's start crafting this.
Yep.
Add an association for happy hours
Comments.
uh to comments, yeah. And then okay, that's probably, I think that'll be enough for it to deal with the migration too.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, maybe delete the period and say including adding attributes or migrations.
Mm-hmm.
Adding
Sure.
and then say and add a form to create an associated comment to a happy hour on the happy hour show. And say like the venue show page. And then update the venue show page if necessary. And then do it. Now I'm curious. So this should be 4,000 tokens sent plus receipt.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was interesting while we're waiting for this. I've noticed that when I'm working with 3.7 Sonnet through Cursor, right, sort of like at the day job, it is way, way, way more aggressive. Like it will just, and it has to be something to do with the cursor prompting, because it will just, anything it finds that it's like, I should fix that, it will just go ahead and fix it.
All right, so what the fuck is the deal? Go down and look, 14,000 tokens.
Yeah. So we're at 8 cents.
So I wonder if it really is miscounting, because that is almost just 10,000 more than it thought.
Mm-hmm.
Like do after it, we'll do a slash tokens, but like,
yeah,
that's
this is
crazy.
fine. We can.
All right.
I don't want to add that. Let's create the file.
Oh, do you know what's interesting? Look at the migration number. Is it reasonable? Is it after the
0509 1500? That's like 3 o'clock. It is reasonable-ish. I mean, I wonder what was our other. I'm just gonna leave that there for a second. Create comments was.
It's almost perfect.
It's pretty close, right?
Because
oh
it's
09 14. So it went to 15. It just went to 1500.
Yeah, it was great. It worked. That's crazy. That is kind of crazy.
That's pretty smart. It's like, I don't know exactly what time it is, but I know it's later than that number.
Yeah.
That's great. Yes. Okay, so it did create a new controller. That's probably the right thing to do. Yes.
I don't think it is with the turbo stream stuff.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, because now we kind of wanted to probably reuse the existing turbo stream, right?
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. And like comments control, it was, oh, we'll look through the changes, but no, we don't want to. Oh,
because it wouldn't have like, I mean, routes was not in context, so it didn't apply any changes to routes. So like this isn't gonna work.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, but it does tell you bin routes add. Holy shit.
where?
It's gonna be the next command it asks you if you want to run.
But if I say no, then I'm out, right? It's gonna quit.
No, 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 no. It'll go to the next one.
So what should I run migrations or no?
I mean, yeah, I'm pretty sure it'll ask you at the end if you want to run. Okay, add command output to chat. Say no.
See, I think that this is just gonna exit at this point if I say no.
I don't think so.
Oh, you're right. Okay, cool.
Bin rails route add.
Shit, I didn't even know that that was a command.
It's what the templating engine uses, I think. Like the, the scaffolding and everything. Oh, didn't work.
No,
All right.
it didn't. It has this like stray quote, double quote there.
No, oh, yeah, it quoted everything.
What do we want to do? Want to vibe code this?
No, no. Because that could have been a complete hallucination.
Right.
And I don't think it's worth it when you can just copy that.
Yeah. Okay. So no, correct? No.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, we're good. Do a /tokens just for the life of me. I'm so annoyed. Something is wrong. 9,000 tokens. Yeah, it's either doing extra calls or something. All right, let's look at the changes.
Okay.
And it didn't add a test this time, did it? But I guess the models are.
It did modify the comment test, it looks like.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so we were clean before, so let me just add this together. Yes. And then we'll get diff cache. So okay, comments, build, that looks correct. Venue happy hour path, that
Okay.
all looks good. Setting the happy hour, yeah.
Happy hours controller.
Getting the comments, looks right.
Wait.
Yep.
Okay. Optional true. Must belong to a venue or a happy hour. Awesome. That's pretty good. But we could have it set because happy hours have to be a part of a venue. You can always tag it on a venue.
Yeah, I kind of wanted to say, like, it should always be associated with the venue. We'll see if it makes that change. Quick change.
But then that makes it difficult for showing the comments that are on a venue. Or do you want to show them on a venue if they're for a happy hour to that venue?
Yeah, I think I do. I think I want the venue to be all comments, and then like I haven't.
All right, cool.
Thought this
We'll keep going down. It automatically updated that stuff.
Yeah, that looks good.
All right, now I mean, like, let's just see if it worked. It should work.
Yeah. Let's see. But we don't have a route, so.
Oh, you just need to copy that.
So you're saying I can run that?
No. I'm saying just copy that line in resources, comments, controller.
Right, but I'm kind of curious. Is this this is what you were saying? Maybe this whole thing is hallucinated. Maybe that's not a thing.
Yeah, I don't trust that whole thing.
Yeah. Okay.
And I don't think that's worth wasting time trying.
Fair. Okay, routes and.
If we had just added the routes file, it would have just made the change. So there's no point. Like this was our.
Yeah.
Probably bad by saying, oh, we're not going to add the routes.
And this is resources happy hours. So we are. So where do I want this? Because I have all these like screwy happy hour routes. Is this just because?
Just add it.
But comments, we want this
within comments. So do you have a comments or resources comments somewhere? Oh, within.
So venue. Yeah, this is within venues. So I think what we want is resources happy hours. Like I don't know what none is.
No, screw it. Just put this one line in.
Just that?
Screwing that up. Like, yeah, you're changing where it thinks the route is if you do that.
Okay. So let's just let's spin Rails routes grep comment just to double check. So post comments to happy hour comments. Okay, we can clean all that up later. Should we just try it?
Yeah. And then I want to see the difference between the two controllers.
So happy hours comments path. Yeah, so it needs to be nested to hit this. So let me go back and just let me say that, and then let's run this again. Happy hour comments. That all looks correct.
Really, it does need to be nested. Okay,
I think so.
all right.
Yeah. This is a happy hour comment.
No. Oh wow. Venue ID.
Oh, no. That's in the migration. There's a database constraint.
Yeah, so that can be set though. So just go back.
Yeah. Should we try to get it to make the change?
I don't think it's worth it to make those changes. Okay. That's why I'm like, because it's literally like I mean, maybe.
Yeah, just more out of experimentation. I agree with you. I think that this isn't really worth it. Like if I can make the change as fast as the LLM, like I think I have a better shot of getting it right faster.
Yeah. Just as fast as the LLM, but also as fast as you translating it into a prompt.
Right. Yeah.
Like totally. You writing an appropriate prompt would take just as long as you changing it. So what I was going to say is do an after or before create on the comment where you set the venue equal to the happy hour venue.
Sure. Okay. Before, and this is
before create
set venue,
and then it's just like if venue doesn't exist.
Yeah, venue.
Oh.
Equals happy hour venue if happy hour, right?
Yeah, that looks right. And then try and comment. Yeah. See, that was not worth a prompt when you like the chance of getting it wrong also is like, meh. Plus, it's just as easy. Double check that the old stuff is working on the venue. And that will show up on the venue now too. Happy hour test. See? All right. So they both do.
It's so good. It's so good.
Perfect.
Like that would have taken a while. We're definitely like saving time here.
Yeah, we're cooking with gas.
Yes.
No. All right. You might as well commit this. And then check out the to-do list.
And
oh my god, it's 5:50. Oh, I was like, why is it? It's because of daylight savings. It's not gonna feel like 5:50.
All right, I can't do too much longer. If we can think of one more kind of quick thing we want to try. I don't want to open up anything big because I do have to kind of start thinking about dinner for the kids and whatnot.
All right, so do you want to try and install probe?
Sure.
Then installing. Let's just choose the one that's easier to install.
Just run this.
Wait.
Oh, you mean of the two, of Seagoat or Probe?
I mean, that has a install script. It does have a binary. Okay, so let's look at the install on the other. I'm kind of leaning towards Probe anyway, but
this is just a pip install.
I almost like that better, but
well, what do you? I mean, you've looked at these a little more than I have. What do you think's closer to what we need?
The first one, I think this one doesn't like if you look at the example when it writes through it, you'll see it gives line numbers like that, and it's jumping all over the place. I think that'd be terrible. Whereas the other one, we don't have an example, but I think it talks about giving the whole function.
Okay, let's try this then. So let's run this command. Curl that to bash. Okay. Okay. And so let's.
You can run it with probe, and it's even in your thing. All right, so CLI mode, probe search.
Okay, so let's think. What's a good application of this that we can do
Just
without
go back and just see what probe happy hour returns.
probe
You
search?
probe. You misspelled that.
Probe search quote.
Just
Yeah, happy hour.
found 0. Okay, that's awesome.
Okay.
Your own pattern.
Within the current directory. So is that not recursive? Maybe.
I don't know. For in that's with the exact matching.
So let's do that in app models. Not sure how to use this. I mean, okay.
Why did that get it and happy hour didn't? That's weird, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a little weird. Okay, so it's giving us files and lines.
You never call like dot happy hour or something?
No, it's gotta be. An app. I mean, there's lots. Yeah, I mean, there's plenty. I don't know why I didn't find them.
Yeah, this is why I'm like wondering if these tools just aren't great with Ruby.
Yeah.
And like, I doubt it pulled any of the ERB files.
No, I saw some. Yeah, like.
Oh shit, it
here.
did.
Yeah. So there's where's happy hour here? It's got to be in here.
Or venue. That's
Oh, this is venue, right?
Weird that it's.
So did the underscore screw it up?
Search, does it
happy certainly brings a lot back with happy, so I don't know if
try happy hour again, like with the underscore. Yeah, does the underscore screw it up? That is weird.
That's weird. Let's see. I should try the other one.
Yeah, maybe.
Let's just try it real quick.
So this, do you have V environment? I would have set up a V environment. But
I think so. I don't know.
Wait, did you just use a different install? No, that was the probe.
Yeah, I accidentally paid. I didn't get the copy.
So when you want to do this, what is it? Is it pipx? Did you run pipx already?
Not yet.
Okay. Is pipx the system-wide? 1 second. And I think you want to do a virtual environment if you can. Yeah, pipx system-wide. I think it is pip. Whoops.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I have a reference through brew.
Why? Oh. Keyboard. Yeah. Yeah, pipx is system-wide. So it's its own virtual environment too. Okay, so yeah, you can
just
go do it.
All right, well, that's installing. Okay, so in order to use it, we need to run a server, path to the repo. Where are numbers around it? This is pretty interesting.
Yeah, this one is a little bit more like it's using embedding, so it's trying to be smart. Right. The one thing about trying to be smart is I like wonder if like you can't debug it. You
Right.
know, you
Yeah.
can't be like, oh.
Yeah, totally.
All right. So
Okay.
now you want to run the server.
So I can do like this dot.
Probably. All right. Now go back and be like
So GT
creating happy hour. Say creating happy hour.
creating happy.
You have a form for creating happy hour? Say
No, there's no
creating
form right now.
say creating a comment.
Okay. Comment.
Might as well be sending it to an LLM at this point. Okay. Maybe the first time it has to index your whole thing. So I wonder if like subsequent calls will be quicker. Because yeah, this is not gonna work.
No, this is. I'm curious what the server's doing. Is it gonna tell us? Oof.
Oh,
Oof. Can't
slide
return
all
this.
the way. Can I return? And probably EF or M is too small. Go all the way up.
All the way. Mm.
Just go back and do a control C on it. Wait, what's the first error you get in that error area?
Trace back is here. Processing chunk handling clear exception and thread worker function. I don't know. Then we're just looking at the stack trace.
All right, go back, go down, and like just try and redo it again. Oh, I wasn't even gonna say. Yeah, I don't even know if you needed to restart the server. I was gonna say
it was
control
right,
C
yeah.
on the other one,
I see. Okay.
and now go back to the server and let's watch it.
Handling.
Note: 14,731 chunks need to be analyzed for optimum performance.
Let's see what's happening here. Still generating. Let me pull this closer.
Oh shit! Do you see that number?
Yeah, look at that. That's just tailwind config.
Oh my god.
We're gonna be here for a while. So it's just
I mean,
oh, it died. Let's see what it gave us before.
wait, no. What did it die? What is the bottom? What does the bottom say?
Oh, I see.
So it starts giving stuff. Go back and is this okay? Yeah. So I'm curious if the first time this runs, it's terrible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because this just gave that has comment test.
Yeah, it's not.
Oh wow. Comments.
Yeah, it's not terrible. And it says it only has likely 1% accuracy, right? So yeah, maybe if we let this thing just chug away, then it gets better.
Christ. Yeah, there's got to be a way to like optimize this better. But maybe it is. This is just like a one time. Did it try and kick this off before you did anything? I don't think it did.
I don't think it did either. I think it was lazy.
But hopefully it's not like this was one query. We need to re-optimize it for every query.
Right. Okay, so that's interesting. So okay, let's.
I don't think Aider is gonna like this format though.
No, I think these are interesting tools. I think we should be aware of them, but I think I kind of want to get back to like what are we trying to accomplish, and then like do these tools help? If I think about like let's just think through for a second, not try to.
Here's how I really want to approach it.
Okay.
I want to create user stories and or high level systems,
Mm-hmm.
comment creation, right? Comment creation.
Mm-hmm.
That should be a tag, and the tag would live on both those show pages. It would live on both those controllers,
Mm-hmm.
and it would live on comment. Uh,
Okay,
and then
so let's pause there for 1 second. So you're saying you have a user story. That's what you start with. You're like the
I think so.
and is the story. So in this case, when you're talking about tagging, right? So you've tagged all the files that are part of comment creation. Is that's what you're saying? And now that would be helpful, like if I wanted to change comment creation. So again, like sort of one of the features I have in the back of my head is like maybe, I'm not sure, but maybe I'm not just raw processing every single comment. Maybe I'm letting the user give me hints. They're saying like, oh, there's like a button on the happy hour that says like, oh, this is wrong, or like there's a new happy hour, or something like that, and then it opens the comments drawer, but almost with like a type or something
Yeah.
associated. So something like that, like if I want to do something like that, then you would have like all the files that are part of comment creation tagged and could all be brought into context, or am I getting it wrong?
Yeah, yeah, I think that's right. And I think that you have this process semi-automated.
Yes.
Uh, you can definitely have the LLM look at a code base and tell me like what are the high level like features that this class supports.
Right.
And you kind of give it some high level direction and be like, you know, focus on CRUD uh related, acronyms and things like that, and high level features, and try and make a minimal set, and then like, here's my app. Let's
Mm-hmm.
talk about what the minimal set of tags are. You get those, and then you just go through and have it tag everything. You have the LLM tag everything. And then you just like, as you're working, once you have the tags kind of initially set up, it's pretty easy to like manage and keep track of a tag system.
Yeah, I like this because you almost like it's almost just a lesson, right? It's almost just something in your lessons file that says like every time you finish a feature, right? For every file that like you had to edit for that feature, make sure a tag that has this syntax is like put at the top of the file or something like that. And then just naturally through like making changes to features, files will get tagged. Or is there a smarter approach than that?
Yes, I think it's that. And I think you just add a little bit of guide rails where it's like a find or create. You'd be like, if there is a tag that is
Mm-hmm.
related to this feature, then do not add one. If
Right.
there are no tags, or there's no tags that kind of describe this feature that you're working on, then add a new one. Because creating a comment tag, perfect example. So we just created comments first on the venue and then on the happy hour. We don't we also want to approve the tag name, but we
Mm-hmm.
don't want to create, like the first one would be create comments, and
Mm-hmm.
then the next one, does it become create happy hour comments? No, I think it's called create comments. It's in that tag system, and you just have to be mindful of that.
Yeah. Yeah. That's that's interesting. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Um, I mean, maybe at this point, what we could have is a read only file for the tags that it could choose from. And
Yeah,
then we could manually deal with that. So
that tag.
at least
Because
it's
it
not
would be,
hallucinating new tags all the time.
yeah, because you know what would be really simple to do is create a Claude script that says add tag if it doesn't exist, and then you
Right.
can give it a tag, and all you have to do is on your dirty commits, you just be like, everything that's dirty, add the tag. So like you do,
Right.
the LLM does work, or you do work, and you're just about to commit it, and you're like, all these files, they're all to do with create
comments. Let me just add tag create comment to every dirty file.
That's interesting. So you're saying this isn't even a LLM lesson. This is just pure command line. We manage the files. Well, I'm not sure. Actually, I like the LLM adding it because we might have added stuff to context or that isn't actually part of it.
I like that, and it's just maybe you just have to be mindful that read only you have to update with the comment with the tag you want at the time. You know, you're like, we're working on content creation or comment creation, and make sure you in that read only file create a tag called like comment creation.
Right. Yeah. Okay. I mean, this is kind of cool. I think we should maybe take like 10 minutes, see if we can give this a try and see if, like, because really all we need is the file that either has whatever you want to call it, like, you know, features or domains or whatever. And then pull that in as a read only and then add a lesson, change something, and then see if it tags the files.
Yeah. So, yep. So tags.md,
Yeah.
change the lessons. All right, let's work on that and see.
Also, I'm curious how far that server got.
It's about halfway through.
All right, cool.
All right, cool. So where are we? So we committed. So let's touch tags, docs, tags, markdown. And so we'll say tags markdown. And so this is just, I don't know, how do we want to do this? Just like this?
Here's a list of feature tags.
Yeah.
Something like, here is a list of features.
Or no. I think you're right. Just tags and then a list. And then in lessons, we'll describe it.
Comments?
I think you break it up. Well, yeah, I think that's fine.
Okay.
And then you're gonna also want like comment creation.
Yeah.
The separate one.
Yeah. This one's gonna be tricky, right? Because now you're really like drawing architectural boundaries almost, or you're just trying to draw circles around stuff in your application and getting the overall picture.
It's fine if the circles don't have to be like mutually exclusive.
Yeah.
You don't have to be perfect in that this circle doesn't contain that stuff.
Right. Yeah, totally. So I just want to throw more than just one in here just to see, like, does it start adding a bunch?
Throw a couple in. Throw happy hours in.
So this one's tough because this could be everything. This is like happy hour, like happy hour parsing, happy hour scraping. How about that?
Yeah.
This is like venue scraping. This is like let's just do that for now.
Okay, so my question though is, we're gonna add it to lessons, but what is the format? Because we'll have to describe this in lessons. What is the format? Do we want it at the top of the file, the bottom of the file, what? I think top of the file is okay.
Yeah, top of the file. It doesn't. You see, I've moved my annotate to the bottom of the file. I think top of the file is good here because also, like, if we need to find it, we can just take the top one line. It'd be easy to write scripts for it if it's at the first line.
Always the first line.
Yeah,
and it can. And I think it needs to be like tags : space and then just a list of the tag names on that first line,
right,
in a comment.
Yes. So it's funny, I think I don't know if we put that in there or if it put cursor learned. Let's get rid of this and say, what do we want to say here?
You are working on a feature. No, this is in the instruction section.
This is up here?
Yeah,
okay.
Maybe. Let's put it there for now, but when working on a file, consult tags.md.
Consult
Or
tags.md.
for a list of tags that you can use for a list of tags, for a list of available tags, and tag any file.
Oh, there you go. Any file you worked on.
An appropriate tag if it exists. With the appropriate tags if they exist. With any appropriate tags if they exist. Yeah, that works. In this format.
What do you think? This is tags like that?
You want it like what's easiest to parse? Space. I think it's just tags :
It's gotta. There's gotta be. We gotta put the comment. Right. Oh, this is interesting though, because it's if it's an herb file, it's gotta be different, right?
Yeah. Do it. Just do in .rb files.
Let's do
in .rb files :
in .rb files.
And then tags. Remove the brackets and the commas. Easier to parse because we'll always make sure the tags are like there'll be no special characters, there'll be no commas, there'll be nothing. It'll just be simple.
Okay. And then in .herb files, what's just like that? I guess. I mean that's fine. We can dial it in, but like
in JS files.
Oh, right, yeah. In .js files.
Yeah. All right. And then say at the top of the file, right above all of that, say at the top of the file, on the first line of the file. I don't know. Yeah. All right.
Okay. Should we try it?
Now, I would say we should dry run it by adding at least one example in the first time you send it, but maybe not. So wait.
Yeah.
So we need a feature now that we're working on.
Yeah, we could let's say what can we do with our comments? We're top of mind.
So this is another interesting thing on the instructions that I just thought of. You said explicitly if you worked on it, but it may be necessary for the feature, but you didn't change it, you know?
Yeah, okay. When you work on a file, consult...
oh, no, I guess that's fine. I think that's fine. Because we would tag anything.
Yeah, and it should come up during... Like, if it's never modified, then, like, do we need it in context? I don't know. Like, maybe you do, maybe you don't. Let's just try this. So, what can we do here?
You still have all of the venue stuff. We just add a small feature for this. Be like, add an attribute and a button. Like... so what's on that page? What's the submission button?
Right here.
It says post comment. Create a new button called post correction. Isn't that kind of like what you want to move toward?
Like an edit?
Yeah.
Oh, I see. You're talking about like happy hour correction?
Yeah.
We could do that. We could also do something like likes, or maybe we have this. I don't know. Edit, you think? Should we just do edit?
Yeah, I mean, what's the copy that you'd want? Because it's like post a comment, post an update, post a correction, post correction.
Yeah, like a happy hour correction.
Like what would be the simplest words? You're saying like post happy hour correction, but that's not how a person would talk.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure. I guess I'm just not quite sure about this feature. Like, I think on the one hand, I could just like part of this is just a UX problem. Maybe it's like, hey, if you see something wrong, like tell us what's wrong in the comments and we'll fix it. Right? That's the easiest thing we could do, and then like LLM parse every single comment. I was thinking that
Hey,
maybe
wait, wait,
there's
no, 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 no. Bear with me. Bear
yeah
with me. Hear me out.
yeah go
It's post a correction because you're talking about types.
okay
Like eventually you want to categorize these into types,
mm-hmm.
and the correction is a type,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Sure
You would eventually remove that button, but everything else would remain. You'd want the status of correction available to be set, and those kinds of things. Do you see what I mean?
yeah. Is that a type of comment? Like I kind of had in my head that there's just it's almost like a type of comment, right? Because I think I'd want those to be in the comment stream, right?
Yeah.
It's like
So
so
no,
Here's like this is what I'm getting at is isn't the comments supposed to be processed by an LLM
yes.
and then identified if it's a correction
Mm-hmm.
and then you make that correction
Yes. Yeah.
and then
I
you
think
would want
so.
to flag that comment as a comment that caused a correction.
Right.
And that's what I'm getting at. This is adding a status or a type called correction
Mm-hmm.
and just letting the user explicitly do it right now.
Yeah.
And then what you're just going to end up doing is just removing that button later and changing how you do it.
I see. So that's it's just like besides post comment, it's like oh, I see. The button is called post correction.
Yes. And the only difference is post comment just keeps the status normal. Post correction just updates a status on the back end called correction.
Yeah, I'm with you. Okay.
And is your Git history clean anyway?
Thanks. Yes, it is. Yeah.
All right. So this is the first step, and you could always throw away some of the code, but I think this is a good step to be like, hey, we want to have different types of comments.
And we have like if we just want to like save ourselves a little bit of time right now, everything is still in context, right? So we can just prompt it. It's got lessons. We could add tags, right?
Read tags.
Read tags, right? Read only docs tags markdown. Okay. So lessons is in there. That let's just see what happens. Yeah?
Yeah. All right. You go ahead and prompt it this
okay.
time. Because I described the feature and now I want you to
yeah.
prompt to see if it's
add a do we want this to be so if I say type, it's probably gonna go STI to comments. And that's not really what I want because it's like the LLM is probably going to process this and assign like just a type string, right?
Yeah.
So it's
just
like
they add a type. No, I'm curious if it does it right. If you're like add a type, but I don't want this to be STI.
Add a type. Okay. So let's say add a type to comment. Yeah, so just sort of a meta question at this point, right? Am I micromanaging the LLM, right? Like when I'm telling it to like add a type, do I really want to be telling it like a feature story at this point? And how do I?
So let's do a feature story and see how it comes up with because so it's like add like
we could do Gherkin, right? As a user.
No, I don't think you want to do quite Gherkin. You say. I think you need to micromanage to a small percentage, and by that I mean like obvious knowledge. You'd be like on the happy hour show.
Yeah, happy hour show page.
Create a post correction button to submit a comment.
To submit a comment
that
yeah, go ahead.
That has a status, or
that
is it status that has a type
that adds a type to comment It adds a type to the new comment called correction. And maybe this is like specifically happy hour correction.
Really? Here, I
You don't
wouldn't
think
even-
so?
Yeah, I wouldn't micromanage that much.
Okay.
'Cause do you care what it's called? I'm curious what it does if it doesn't have that.
Yeah, I'm just thinking like there will be venue corrections, I think, and happy hour corrections. I'll probably want to distinguish between the two. I don't want like I'm trying to give it as little context as I can, but while knowing that there will be other types of corrections other than just happy hour corrections, right?
Okay.
So
My
I'm
one-
not sure the best way to give that
Yeah,
context.
One caveat is a comment that's directly on a happy hour. Oh, okay, yeah. No, I see where you're coming from. Yeah.
So how about let's back up. I agree. Let's try to micromanage this as little as possible. To submit a happy hour correction comment. Something like that. So we're saying, this is still pretty high level. It is a happy hour correction, and that's what we want. We don't have to tell it the type. I don't know if we should put the word type in here or not. On the happy hour show page, create a post correction button to submit a happy hour correction comment.
Yeah. Correction comment. That is a type of comment.
That is a type of comment.
But not an STI.
Do not use STI on the comment model.
See, I don't think this is over micromanaging it. I think this makes sense.
Okay. Should we go with this? Anything else you want to add?
I mean, we want to see what happens, and we also want to see if it adds the tags.
We are clean. Let's add that. All right. Let's see what you got.
Thinking. Oh, how's the server running?
Seems to be done.
Seems to be done.
Should we try again?
Yeah.
Let's start server. Was it GT? What was it?
Yeah.
It was GT. And then what did I say? Create comment. Is that how I do it? Yeah, GT create comment.
Go over to the server and let's see what it's doing now, though.
Server handling task query.
Rip grep cache size was 1.5 megabytes.
Huh.
Handling tasks. All right, let's jump back and deal with.
Okay. Let's see what we got. Okay. Okay, so it did do correction boolean. Fine.
It didn't add tags to the top.
Didn't add tags to that.
Comment.
Did not add tags to the comment. Didn't tag at all. Yeah, so maybe we just need to be more forceful with that language.
In the prompt, maybe it needs to be in the prompt too.
Yeah.
Or actually, did you have conventions? And was it updated? Or lessons? It was in the lesson.
Look over here. This did not return great stuff.
Yeah, and I wonder if.
So I don't know. It could be cool. We just might not know how to use it.
The other one you could limit tokens, and I wonder if you can limit tokens and be more thoughtful about that kind of thing.
Yeah. Okay, so it's asking to add routes.
Wait. That kicks off another thing.
Oh, right.
Would have said no because does it have a routes correction up there?
Uh, yeah, this one.
Yeah, yeah. So that's the thing. You could have just said no and added that,
Just added that. Yeah. Okay. So,
but you did anyway.
oh, it's asking to generate a migration.
So did it run the other files before it did that though?
No, we don't have. So we don't have
No.
any changes yet.
That's a fucking bug.
What do you mean?
See, it didn't, it dumped out.
So you don't think it's going to apply the changes that we
No.
already have? You think it's going to go like
Just
generate the file and then
out.
do another round trip?
What do you mean generate the file? Yeah, I mean it did, right?
So I haven't generated the file yet. Right now it's asking to generate the migration.
Oh, generate migration. Yeah, no.
You think no?
Because isn't that in the last one too? And we just lost the last one because you said add that file. That's what I'm getting at. You lost all of those file changes because you were like, yeah, add that file.
Right, because you know that when we add a file, basically we're getting ready to go back into the reprompting, right? Yeah. Okay, so in this particular case, like we've added the file, we know we're in for another round trip. Do we want to just generate the migration? Maybe that will add that file and then do the round trip anyway.
Up to you. I wouldn't want to deal with those round trips. I don't know what I would do at this
I just
point.
want to see what it's going to do. Because I haven't seen it generate a migration yet before.
Yeah.
So add. Okay, so it just.
Yes. I mean, if you
It just lost
really
it.
wanted-
It just completely lost it. Like, it forgot. It completely like lost what we were doing.
Oh my God, you even said yes, add the output. Yeah. See, that's what I'm getting at. Like when you get asked to add a file, the answer is almost always no. If there are edits, it's like it shouldn't be asking you.
Okay, let's. I gotta go in a minute. What I want to do, I think at this point, is one, add this migration file. Might as well. That file's in there. I want to see if we can get it to
Wait,
add
go
these
back and
tags.
see if that's in there. Conventions and tags, read only. I don't see lessons. Oh, lessons is down in docs.
Yeah, it's
Lessons.
here. So lessons are there.
I mean, just do you want to reprompt it real quick with the first prompt?
Yeah, I can reprompt it, but like we didn't get the changes. So how can we?
Okay. Go hit up, up, up
Yeah.
till you see the prompt. But before you hit enter, say, please tag all the files as it says in lessons MD. Please tag all the files as described in lessons MD.
Yes.
Yeah, and just rerun it because you have all the other stuff. Oh, we probably should have fucking cleared out the chat history, actually.
Can I clear the chat history without clearing the files?
Yeah. It's Peter clear. Resets everything. Clear just clears the chat history.
Okay. Yeah, if this gets it wrong, maybe it's worth a clear and then a rerun.
Yeah.
That's good to know.
But yeah, that's the thing. Like these small pieces of information about dealing with Aider can save you a lot of time and money if you're like, I know not to add a file if there are edits because it's gonna try and rerun a prompt and I lose the edits that were there.
Mm-hmm.
And I've done that multiple times too.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's also why I'm like, I do think there is a feature that's needed where when it asks that, you can say add file but don't prompt. Like you need to be able to say add file but don't prompt.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Did we get any tags? We got no tags. God
We got no tags, and did it just try and move the annotations to the
Oh no,
top?
look, we got a tag.
Oh,
Okay, I was wrong. Happy hour scraping.
oh, Jesus Christ. We're gonna get-
That's just wrong. Um,
Any other tags that are
let's
just
see.
plain wrong?
Happy hour scraping. I mean, it just said happy hour, like, so it didn't.
So go up
And
though.
I'm curious at the top.
I think the way to handle it is having an architecture file where these things are described too.
Yeah.
And if you have existing ones that already are there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It just. All right. Well, that's not great. I mean, yeah, it just matched happy hour scraping on happy hour. I mean, I guess I see, semantically, like these files are probably much closer to happy hour scraping than they are commenting, right?
Yeah.
But it's the feature. I think that's the part it missed, right? Is we're trying to match the tags to the feature, not the tags to the like what the file is. But let's just see if it did it. So comments, so correction. Um, that's not great.
It's not terrible.
It's not terrible. I just didn't give it enough context, right? That there's going to
Right.
be multiple types of corrections.
Yeah. And I think though, think about it. If you're like, there are going to now be multiple types, correction of Boolean is good to just say it's a correction and then you add the type.
That's a good point. Yeah,
So it could
that's fair.
be reasonable.
Um,
It's how to change
must belong. So add some scopes, regular
correct
comments.
regular comments. Happy hour scraping and comments. Tags. Look at that tags.
Yeah, here,
It
right?
did
Yeah,
comment. But I don't know why it has scraping. We don't have a normal happy hour one. That's the problem.
right, right. It probably would have tagged all these with
Just happy hour.
happy hour. Yeah,
It's in there.
but it is interesting that I missed this completely. It did put comments in there.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
that's what I was saying.
Got it.
Yeah,
Got it.
yeah.
I missed that.
No. Uh,
Yeah. Okay.
comments build. Did it change this?
Let's see.
Could have had to.
Yeah, it's got this whole create
correct.
correction.
It's like, is that really required?
Comments controller create correction. So basically, just put another endpoint in this controller.
Just to do correction instead of doing a param or an attribute.
Yeah. So permit message correction. So let's look at what it did on the show. Just kind of curious. I want to load it up real quick.
That has a tag. Happy hour scraping and comments.
Okay. Okay.
I think it can do it. I think you just need more
Yeah,
info.
I agree. These need to have descriptions. Yeah. So I just kind of want to see this. Let's just run these real quick. db migrate. And then what do we have here? Some more forms. What did you do to happy hour? Yeah, let's just those we can just look at the diff. So applied edits. So at this point, it's applied the edits. We're done, right? I don't need to actually run. I guess I'll run the migration, and I just want to see where this path leads.
Don't add.
No?
But no, that triggers a reflection.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so cool. That's over. Ran the migrations. Does this load? Submit. Okay, so it added a new form that not correct. Not correct. Post correction. Okay, comment correction true. Interesting. I got something wrong there. I could fix that. I just want to see the diff,
Weird.
really.
That's really weird because it should be on the attribute. Now, did the migration work?
Yeah, I mean, it looks like it. We see here
No, yeah.
it's there. Yeah, that's weird. Is it just misspelled? Correction. It looks right.
No, do a reset on your server or something.
Yeah.
At that point, I'm like, yeah, that worked, but it didn't hotwire.
Mm-mm.
Oh,
Refresh. That was a hard refresh.
okay.
Okay, so
hotwire.
there's something wrong with Hotwire. It's not exactly what we want anyway.
And you know what's wrong probably with the hotwire? It probably has copy. It probably has two of the same ID
Yeah.
or something like that.
All right, I think this is interesting. Let's reflect for a second, and then I gotta go. So tagging can work. I think the next thing is having, like, whether it's the architecture document that you described, having some description of the tags, right? I wonder if it would be too cumbersome to actually specify the tag when you're prompting, right? What might be cool if you were doing that, like, especially if you could get into some commands that let you, like, auto-complete the tags or something like that, that then took the tag, brought those files into context. Now it knows the tag. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, I think something like that could be done. And this is like one of those things where it's like, do you really want to mess with the tooling? And it's like, why not? Like, why not just mess with the tooling? I think it's all in that one file in Aider. That commands file is just like the REPL, basically.
Yeah.
Including the auto completion stuff, which I might have to because it is just triggering me so badly how terrible it is.
Right. Yes. Yeah, the autocomplete definitely sucks. I still have it's still feeling like a little bit of a competition between this idea of we are tagging files related to features, right? And then, well, I guess one thing that pops in my head is, like, how bad is that to manage over time, right? Because you start to get into, like, oh, I kind of, like, mistagged that feature, or I need to, like, I don't know.
So
Just wondering how messy this gets.
Yeah, mistagging is probably, if you over tag, it's not a big deal. You're just using a little bit more tokens than you should.
Right.
Under tagging is the big deal. And I think that fixes itself when you try and run something and you can't edit it and it's missing a tag and you go and you're like, oh, that file needed to be edited. I added it, and then either Aider will add that tag or you will.
Yeah.
After the fact. And so I think that's the more important piece in, like, culling tags is probably the difficult piece, but it's like, if you're, it's going to be an indication of how well your system is architected.
Yes, I think that's correct.
Is like, if a file needs 20 tags, like, something's wrong with that file.
Right.
Or it's just like the controller, it's the generic controller. And in which case, I think, like, we'll say comments controller. If it had 20 tags, would not be a big deal. It would be a big deal if it had 20 tags and 2,000 lines. If it was 20 tags and 20 lines of code, because it's like, oh, it's so generic that the params are just coming through wherever it's coming from, that's not a big deal.
Yeah.
But for some reason, because most of the time it's just not going to use it. It's not going to change it. It's not going to use it. Like this one, I would say Claude screwed up. It should have been the same route. Use the same route if possible for the correction, because why not?
Right. And I guess that's something like perhaps if we, and maybe this is
It's
worth doing very quickly, if we give it that lesson and say like, make this change and remember this for next time.
yeah. Uh, reuse. I mean, reuse routes and use parameters where possible. Like this is like a straightforward case of like that button. Like had I developed this, I don't know if you would have developed it similarly, but that button just would have had the correction true in the URL
Right.
as a parameter. Or I would have just yeah, I think it's a URL parameter. Or that button, maybe somehow you have a hidden element in there with correction true somehow.
Mm-hmm. Yes, totally. So I just kind of want to, I just want to try this real quick since we're set up for it. I want it to refactor the post correction feature, maybe, to reuse the,
Wait,
yeah,
tokens first. Your chat history might be huge,
yes, okay, cool.
and you might want to just do a clear 20,000. Do you care that much? Chat history.
I think well, I think the only reason I say do I want to keep it is because I'm going to ask it to refactor something and then remember the lesson. So it could, I mean,
Yeah.
it has these files in context. I just don't know if the chat history is valuable
No,
or confusing.
I'd leave the chat history, I think, and say refactor.
The let's call it the post correction feature to reuse the the standard, the base, to reuse the comment endpoints.
No,
How do I say this?
the comment create controller action.
Controller action. Also,
Two separate actions. Say so it does not have two separate actions.
so it does not have two separate actions. Remember, see, like, I don't know if I want to be specific and say like write this to the lesson file, or if I just want to try to see if it'll say like remember this lesson and then give it a lesson.
Just write remember this lesson. Don't even give it anything. Don't give it the lesson. Just say take note of this lesson.
Future. But do I want to say, but I still, I don't know if the lesson is clear here. Because I like what you said.
We'll see.
Okay.
Like that's
Fair
what I want to see what it thinks. Remember this lesson. I think you want to say remember this lesson in the lessons markdown file.
Okay. In docs, in lessons markdown. Okay. Let's see what we got.
Yeah, this is it.
Ruby, how you normally eat 15 minutes from now.
She's like, but I got my lunch early too.
And the last thing I was going to say before is I still have this kind of fuzzy, like, how much do we, like, I don't know if our tagging system is in competition to using Rails conventions to find context, or if they can, like, I guess perhaps they could complement one another if we sort of
I think
like
they're gonna
use
complement
Rails conventions to tag something.
I think yes, but I think a lot of this isn't going to be the convention sides of things. It's going to be I have a scraping process. It's going to be back end stuff.
Mhm.
It's like I have a scraping process for venues, and like I want to modify it. There is no Rails convention for that because it's just going to be a whole bunch of mod.
Yeah, totally. Okay. All right. So let's see. Let's see what we got first.
You see the diff? Yeah.
Edits. So let's go to the top here. So corrections is gone.
params correction present. Yeah, that's fine for now.
Yeah, where? Oh, I see. Correction, sure.
Happy hour create. Okay.
Defaults corrections, true. Can you do that?
That's awesome if you can.
Okay. And then not. Oh, is it just the corrections path? I don't know what changed here. We can see it in the diff. Um, create turbo stream. Let's just look at that in the view. And let's look at the lesson here.
But yeah.
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 It's great, right?
Okay. Yeah.
And
Of course,
then
if it ever reuses that,
yeah, right. But
you don't like that it's two separate forms.
no, no, definitely isn't. But
Yeah. They got that working.
yeah,
That that wasn't working, was it?
no. And that's working too. This is great.
And go up to the venues and see if it lists them both.
Yeah. It did. It did.
Nice. All right.
That's pretty cool. All right.
Now, how much that cost you though? It cost 23 cents for that one because of all the chat history. Now I'm curious when you look at your Anthropic console if it really does follow this cost. I wish we had kind of recorded it because my suspicion is not.
Yeah.
Because it's 51,000 cent. That doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, next time I'll check how much is in the account. We'll kind of tally these up as we go and see if it matches.
And I think that that's off by 10,000 again because remember there was 20,000 chat tokens.
Yeah.
And I think maybe you had 10, maybe 20,000 on your normal, like all your files. Here, actually do /tokens, you'll find out. So chat history, everything is only 24.
Right.
So it's like and that added more to your chat history.
Yeah. Yeah.
I thought your chat history was 20. Oh, no. The total was 20.
Total. Yeah.
It's doubling.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, maybe this is just wrong, right?
Yeah. That's what I'm wondering about is like, it says your session is 75 cents. Like, I guess that doesn't have the like morning work you did or the earlier work, but
right.
If it's like, if you look and it's barely above 75 cents,
yeah.
Like if it's less than $1, then this was calculating wrong.
I'll look. I don't think Anthropic gives the hourly breakdown. I think OpenAI gives you a more granular breakdown.
Yeah, Anthropic just gives daily.
Yeah, I'll look. All right, I gotta run. This was great. Thank you.
Yep.
I'll chat with you. See ya.